who moved to India during partition days. So we were living in Pakistan before that. एक बार खून लग जाए ना खुद के business
हाँ.
करने का, then I think there is no going back. Even when we go to restaurants, no, सबसे पहला क्वेश्चन मेरे दिमाग में आता है ये कितना रेवेन्यू बना लेता होगा, and it's easy to calculate. And I felt if a normal person like him can do it, then हम भी तो नॉर्मली है ना. मेरा कजिन बैठा हुआ था मेरे साथ, वो तब 6th स्टैंडर्ड में होगा. उसने बोला दीदी आप ये क्या डाल रहे हो, आप ये लिखो ना कि इफ यू वांट टू इंक्रीज योर सेल्स ऑन व्हाट्सएप. द ओनली आई थिंक मेट्रिक व्हिच कैन गाइड यू इफ यू आर डूइंग राइट और नॉट इज आर यू बीइंग सैटिस्फाइड. अगर आपको नींद आ रही है रात को, इसका मतलब यू आर ऑन राइट ट्रैक.
We didn't talk about what Bikai is exactly.
Yeah, so basically Bikai is it started with a mission to make businesses successful, initially helping them in creating their own online store, which is WhatsApp integrated, because WhatsApp is their number one channel of sales. And then it later expanded to helping them in digital marketing, helping them in setting up their stores and other such services related to an online store. So that is what Bikai is.
So what next after Bikai, right? So then from Bikai it moved to Big. What drove that?
So it didn't move, I would say. It was a rebrand. So basically I was working along with one of our product manager on a project, which was basically, again, as I said, Bikai started off with just an online store builder. Then हमने डिजिटल मार्केटिंग एज अ सर्विस भी देने लगे इन लोगों को, बिकॉज वी रियलाइज्ड कि ऑनलाइन स्टोर तो बना लिया इन्होंने, बट ट्रैफिक लाना भी नहीं आता है इनको, मतलब लिटरली कुछ नहीं आता है. तो डीएम एज अ सर्विस हमने शुरू किया. दैट्स व्हेन माय माइंड स्टार्टेड वर्किंग टुवर्ड्स कि हाउ कैन वी ऑटोमेट दिस. ये हम थोड़ी ना इतने लाखों मर्चेंट्स के लिए कर सकते हैं. So एक मैं छोटे से प्रोजेक्ट में काम कर रही थी with one of our product manager, which was basically how do we build a platform where we can enable these merchants to be able to carry out certain marketing activities in an automated way. So and that time we were partners with WhatsApp already, जो कि बहुत कम companies को मिलता है. Because of the scale of Bikai, they had given us that license कि आप directly WhatsApp APIs etc use करो. So we thought of कि चलो WhatsApp यूज करके ही इनकी मार्केटिंग बनाते हैं, because anyway WhatsApp ही उनका सेल्स चैनल है. So we created a small product, again 20-30 days का प्रोजेक्ट था, which was about them being able to create a campaign which can be broadcasted on WhatsApp, and they can also segment their customers basis their behavior. So ये एक छोटा सा प्रोजेक्ट हमने किया, and तब ऐसा था इसका नाम क्या रखने हैं, प्रोजेक्ट कर तो लिया है एंड बिकाई तो पैरेलली चल ही रहा था. सो हमारा एक एम्प्लॉय था, एक्स एम्प्लॉय, 2020 में उसने मुझे बोला था सोनाक्षी big.ai इज बेसिकली बिकाई, तो आप ये डोमेन खरीद लो, ये आपको बाद में बहुत महंगा पड़ेगा. मैंने भी पता नहीं क्यों उसकी बात, वैसे तो मैं कुछ नहीं सुनती थी उसकी, बट मैंने उसकी ये बात सुन ली थी, एंड बहुत सस्ते में 400-500 रुपए में तब मिल गया था big.ai. बिकाई है, डॉट हटा दो तो ले लिया था. तो हमने सोचा पड़ा हुआ है, चलो उसी पे डाल देते हैं इसको. सो दैट बिकेम big.ai, वो छोटा सा प्रोजेक्ट. एंड फिर हमने क्या करने लगे कि 2-3 रेफरल ब्रांड्स लाए एंड उनको यूज करने बोला. एंड ROI स्टैंड पॉइंट से व्हाट्सएप की जो मार्केटिंग है वो 130x 137x, एक कस्टमर को तो 250x रिटर्न दे रही थी. तो दैट्स व्हेन वी रियलाइज इट्स अ गुड प्रोडक्ट टू सेल. मतलब हम बेच क्यों नहीं रहे हैं अपनी ऑडियंस को. तो फिर हमने रीब्रांड किया कि अब बिकाई है, big.ai है, तो बिग विच इज कॉमन बिटवीन बोथ, वील रीब्रांड आवर कंपनी टू दैट. एंड सेकंड चीज पैरेलली दैट वी रियलाइज्ड वाज कि बिकाई में वी हैड बिल्ड अ ह्यूज सेल्स टीम. मतलब हमने लिटरली 100 लोग, अगेन दे वर नॉट इन ऑफिस, वो रिमोट था सब कुछ तब. वी हैड हायर्ड देम थिंकिंग कि वील स्केल अप on a sales led model कि हम उनके थ्रू बेचेंगे. That we did, but from a margin, gross margin standpoint, it didn't start to make sense to us. मतलब उसमें 15,000 रुपए का हम महीने का बेचते थे बिकाई, एंड उसमें हम उनको स्टोर सेटअप भी दे रहे हैं, हम उसको सब कुछ दे रहे हैं, बिजनेस कोच भी दे रहे हैं, हमारा सेल्स वाले का भी कॉस्ट लग गया, एंड ऑल्सो एडिशनली जो फेसबुक एड्स चलती थी महीने की. तो मुझे तो वो कोई सेंस लग नहीं रहा था ज्यादा. So the only thing that came to our mind was automating stuff, you know, like moving to a model where self-serve, हाँ बिकाई उसी में वापस जाते हैं, let's not, you know, delve into building a sales team, खुद लोगों को रिन्यूअल करने दो, खुद खरीदने दो, तो वो मोड कर दिया, एंड ये प्रोजेक्ट भी तब लाइव हो गया, and hence we rebranded it to Bic. So Bic.ai, Bikai started thriving from there. So that's how, you know, journey began. And उस journey में भी एक हमें pivotal moment था, which was कि if we keep selling Bic.ai to the merchants that we have onboarded through Bikai, it's just an upsell, right? मतलब आप ज्यादा से ज्यादा क्या बना लोगे, 15,000 की जगह आप 1,000 रुपए पर मंथ के हिसाब से 25,000 कर लोगे साल का, बट उससे ज्यादा तो नहीं कर सकते। एंड मुझे माइंड में हो गया था कि मुझे हर एक ब्रांड से या मर्चेंट से कम 3 से 5 लाख साल का कमाना है, तभी मेरा सेल्स लेड मॉडल या जो भी मुझे एक्विजिशन मॉडल लगाना है वो काम करेगा, अदरवाइज इट इज नॉट गोइंग टू वर्क। सो Bic.ai में हमें फिर एक डिसीजन मोमेंट था दैट शुड बी सेल इट टू बिकाई मर्चेंट्स, और शुड बी गो अप मार्केट, यू नो, स्पेंड मच मोर ऑन R&D and then start selling it to brands like Shopper Stop, Juicy Chemistry, etc. So we took that
which
path.
already have sales channels basically.
Yes,
You help them with the
yes.
marketing part.
Yes, so we started building a lot of, you know, we started completing basically Bic.ai, not just kept it limited to WhatsApp. We started building it holistically, and then directly started selling to brands who are currently paying us 1.5 lakh a month of sort check size. So वो एक हमारे लिए win था, that we went from 1,000 rupees per month to 1.5 lakh rupees per month. So yeah, it was a great journey, I would say. मजा आया करने में, that
यू नो हर स्टेज में मार्केट आपको बता रहा है कि वो क्या चाहता है, राइट? एंड इट बिकम्स अ वेरी नेचुरल ट्रांजिशन कि पहले आप ये बना रहे हैं व्हाट्सएप पे, एंड देन ऑटोमेटिकली यू कम टू दिस रियलाइजेशन दैट अब ये नहीं चलेगा, इफ माय मार्जिन्स हैव टू वर्क आउट, आई नीड समथिंग एल्स, देन इट्स ऑलरेडी लाइक द मार्केट एसेंशियली डिक्टेट्स टू यू। ऑफन टाइम्स लोगों को ये प्रॉब्लम होता है कि अगला हम क्या बनाएं, इस लाइक व्हाट इज द विजन एंड व्हाट इज द डायरेक्शन इन व्हिच वी हैव टू मूव, है ना?
वो क्लैरिटी हो तो बहुत इजीली आपके पास आता है, क्लैरिटी नहीं है ना तो फिर बहुत, क्लैरिटी नहीं है प्लस ईगो है, अगर जैसे कि मान लो मुझे ईगो हो कि बिकाई मेरा पहला आइडिया है, बस अब वही है, मैं उसको जबरदस्ती चिपका के बेचूंगी, उसी को ही मैं आगे बढ़ाऊंगी, आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू मेक एनी पिवट्स, आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू चेंज माय टीजी एक्सेट्रा, देन इट बिकम्स रियली डिफिकल्ट। बट अगर आप
you need to be adaptable, essentially
adaptable
and malleable. That is
और इसमें
important.
शर्म की क्या बात है, there is nothing to, you know, fear about. Pivots are part of journey. You have to evolve. Like for example, I feel अगर आप adapt नहीं कर रहे हो, then आप fail हो रहे हो, अगर आप adapt कर रहे हो, that means you're growing. This about how you see it.
अभी basically you have like a roster of products, है ना? आपके पास CRM है, chatbot है, क्या नहीं? तो थोड़ा सा give us a little bit information about that, कि the rest of the journey, how did it actually play out?
So अब हमने मतलब ये तो छोटा सा प्रोजेक्ट था Bic.ai जो व्हाट्सएप पे था, एंड बिकाई हमारा ऑलमोस्ट बन चुका था, हमें पता था कि 15,000 रुपए के ऊपर तो वी कैन नॉट चार्ज, सो देयर इज नो पॉइंट, जो हमने इतनी बड़ी R&D टीम बनाई है वो दे केप्ट बिल्डिंग फीचर्स ऑन बिकाई। द ऑब्वियस, यू नो, स्टेप वाज कि वो अब Bic.ai जल्दी से बनाए सो दैट हम 1 लाख रुपए 1.5 लाख रुपए महीना ले पाए। तो हमने पूरी की पूरी बड़ी टीम, मतलब literally there were 70-80 engineer plus product plus design, हमने पूरी बिठा दी Bic.ai पे, एंड हमने पूरा कॉन्वर्सेशनल, एंड अगेन यू नो टाइमिंग प्लेड आउट रियली वेल फॉर अस, हमने पूरा कॉन्वर्सेशनल कॉमर्स पे फोकस करने की कोशिश की। सो वी स्टार्टेड बिल्डिंग आवर ओन इनबॉक्स विच इज CRM, चैटबॉट, एक टीम चैटबॉट में लगा दी, एक टीम CRM में लगाई, सॉरी, एक टीम हम कैंपेन्स में लगा दिया, तो नॉट जस्ट व्हाट्सएप एज अ चैनल बट SMS, ईमेल, इंस्टाग्राम एज अ चैनल में कैंपेन्स हो जाए। तो हमने से डिफरेंट पॉड्स बना दिए, सबको अपना अपना कियारे दे दिया, काम शुरू किया, एंड दैट्स व्हेन चैट GPT केम इन। तो अब तो कॉन्वर्सेशनल, एंड तब ये थॉट प्रोसेस था कि कॉन्वर्सेशनल कॉमर्स हैज नॉट वर्कड आउट वेल इन द US, इंडिया में अच्छा चलता है, पैक में अच्छा चलता है, तो आपका टैम बहुत छोटा है, ब्ला 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 बकवास जो आउटसाइड वर्ल्ड करता है, बट आपको खुद में बिलीव होना चाहिए कि मार्केट किस तरफ बढ़ रहा है, आज नहीं चलता है कल तो चल रहा है ना। अब तो चैट GPT देखो, लाइक कंप्लीटली ट्रांसफॉर्म्ड थिंग्स, नाउ एवरीवन इज टॉकिंग अबाउट चैटबॉट्स। So that's how, like, we deployed a big team. We could have taken a decision ki we could have laid off our engineers, our product managers, etc. and small team लेके धीरे धीरे बढ़ते. But कहीं ना कहीं वो intuition था कि we already know the market. It's about getting the right product built quickly so that we start selling it. So again, went with that intuition. We could have taken the other part as well, but at the same time, यहाँ पे एक runway game भी था. Now, like with this, you
Right.
have to manage your runway. You should, and market बहुत खराब हो चुका है. Like everyone suggested back in 22 कि आप ये मान के चलो आपका next round कभी नहीं हो रहा है. उस हिसाब से you have to plan. So you have to keep 3 to 5 years of runway. तो वो माइंड में रखकर you have to keep right size your team. You have to build a product which has not been sold yet in the market. So थे challenges, but we overcame it somehow, and good that we are on a right trajectory right now. We are just 3 months away from turning profitable.
Initially you said that you had a sales team of almost 100 people और अभी
Yeah.
you had these 17 odd engineers और पहले आपका ऐसे management का experience नहीं है in terms of this large scale, right?
Yeah.
तो how was that experience, delegation, dealing with people, and how exactly are you dealing with it?
Yeah, so सोचा ही नहीं, in the heat of moment सारी चीजें हो जाती हैं. जैसे अगर
अच्छा.
रेवेन्यू गोल, so when we were raising series A, गोल था कि 3.5 मिलियन ARR पहुंचाना है बिकाई से, एंड वो 18 महीनों का गोल था. बट मैंने इंटरनली सोचा था मैं 6 महीनों में भी कर सकती हूँ. आई डिडंट टेल एनीवन, बट मैंने खुद सोचा था कि दिस इज डेफिनेटली डूएबल इन 6 months एंड गिवन द मनी दैट वी आर रेजिंग. तो आई स्टार्टेड, एंड इसमें भी ना बहुत मॉडल्स होते हैं माइंड में कि आप कुछ कंपनी को इंस्पिरेशन बनाते हो, एंड नॉट नेसेसरली फ्रॉम योर ओन इंडस्ट्री, आप किसी और इंडस्ट्री, बट यू रियली लाइक देयर सेल्स मॉडल, हाउ दे हैव लेड आउट देयर सेल्स स्ट्रक्चर एक्सेट्रा. सो आई स्टार्टेड फॉलोइंग फ्यू ऑफ द कंपनीज इन इंडिया. आई नॉट नेम इट क्योंकि अब उनकी हालत बहुत खराब है. सो वो एडटेक वर्ल्ड से ही थी. So yeah, so उनसे इंस्पिरेशन लिया. Then I started hiring from that company itself. तो वहां पे मुझे एक बंदा काफी सही मिला, which had lot of aggression, etc. And then उस पे मैंने सब कुछ छोड़ दिया कि now it's on you. Every month उसको मैंने अपना रियल गोल बताया कि मुझे 6 महीने में करना है, उसके लिए अपन को इतने लोग चाहिए होंगे, एंड उसके लिए हमें ऐसे ऐसे हायरिंग करनी होगी, एंड दैट ही डिड. उसने कर दिया, एंड हम 6 मंथ में थे उस माइलस्टोन पे. तो हो गया था वो.
This actually makes my question more contextual because abhi when you were talking about this, right, the person itself, like when you hired that person, he was basically of a certain nature, and even as part of your job you had to talk to so many people initially, the customers. Do you think that the personality type matters to be a successful entrepreneur? Do you think that they should naturally be extroverted, say, or enjoy basically communicating with people?
Yeah, I think so. Like I would say yes. I wouldn't say no, क्योंकि no answer will give comfort to a lot of people कि चलो, being an introvert also I can be that founder kind of person. But it becomes important. I'll tell you why. Because there are a lot of क्या बोलते हैं, भेड़िए बैठे हैं मार्केट में, who will like if things are working out well for you, they'll build similar things for them. And if they know how to communicate it really well, उनका fundraise better होगा. उनका market sentiments, if let's say like putting out everything on social media, then media picking it up, writing on them, then एक वो एक aura बन जाता है कि this company is the market leader for this kind of product. तो आपको एक्सट्रोवर्ट थोड़ा तो होना पड़ेगा ही कहीं ना कहीं जर्नी में, अगर if you are the person who are interacting with investors or media, etc. So that definitely is a very important point in the founder's journey.
But Sonakshi, मतलब I'd beg to differ slightly, primarily because I feel कि एक at least based on my understanding, I think you have to be a good communicator.
Yes.
That is a little bit more fundamental as opposed to being an extrovert. है ना?
Agree. I agree.
The communication is what is key. Can you actually convey whatever you want in the most effective way?
I would add to this actually, because I think that being the communicator is definitely important because you have to basically communicate your vision. But also this ties back to the thing which you were talking about, right? But you delegate that. Even if you are not an extrovert, you delegate that job, you find the right people, and they should have that kind of a personality, right? Because they are the ones who are your face, who's interacting with the external basically stakeholders.
इंट्रोवर्ट का मैं आपको बताती हूँ प्रॉब्लम कहाँ होती है, बिकॉज आई एम ऑल्सो एन इंट्रोवर्ट. एक प्रॉब्लम होती है कि आप ना शेमलेस नहीं होते हो बाय नेचर. सो फॉर एग्जाम्पल यू विल नेवर रीच आउट टू हंड्रेड्स ऑफ इन्वेस्टर्स आस्किंग फॉर मनी. अगर आप रीच आउट भी कर जाओ, आप उनको पिच भी कर दो, आप फॉलो अप नहीं डालोगे. आपको लगेगा यार उसको नहीं पसंद आया होगा, यार छोड़ यार छोड़. बट वो नहीं होता है एक्चुअली में. आपको यू हैव टू बी अ रियली गुड सेल्स पर्सन टू रेज फंड्स. तो आपको फॉलो अप करना है बेशर्मों की तरह पूछना है वहां पे. यू नो दैट्स वेयर दैट इज ऑल्सो माई वीकनेस आई वुड से. क्योंकि मुझे भी हर बार लगता है कि नहीं यार, लाइक इतना तो शेमलेस गिरी मेरे से नहीं हो पाएगी. मैं तो आई कैन नॉट पुट सो मेनी फॉलो अप्स और कैचअप्स एक्सेट्रा. सो एक वो होता है, बट दैट डज नॉट बिकम अ डिफरेंशिएटर इन टर्म्स ऑफ योर सक्सेस और फेलियर. इफ यू आर एबल टू फाइंड राइट पीपल, सो फॉर एग्जाम्पल इफ यू फाइंड द राइट पर्सन बिसाइड यू who's pushing you कि शेमलेस हो जा, यहाँ लिख दे मेल, यार क्या जा रहा है, पर्सनली क्यों लेना है इसको ईगो में, तो फिर things will work out well. So yeah, it's about team basically. There should be people who are balancing it.
So actually, like, तो आशु के बारे में बताइए. Maybe we should have also had him here. But is he the extrovert to your, or the जो ऐसे आपने कहा ना आपको बेशर्म होना पड़ेगा, yeah, basically something like that.
काइंड ऑफ. मुझे तो लगता है वो और ज्यादा इंट्रोवर्ट है, बट एट राइट मोमेंट्स एंड एट राइट प्लेसेस एंड एट राइट टाइम वो एक्सट्रोवर्ट हो जाता है, विच इज वेरी वेरी हेल्पफुल. सो हाँ, काइंड ऑफ बैलेंस आउट हो जाती है चीजें. बट मोर और लेस ही इज लाइक दैट वायर्ड कोडर जो दिन भर बैठकर बस कोडिंग करे.
ये जर्नी एज अ सिंगल फाउंडर तो बहुत लोनली होता है. तो हैविंग अ को-फाउंडर, लाइक व्हाट काइंड ऑफ अ रोल हैज इट प्लेड फॉर यू?
ओह माय गॉड, मतलब आई कैन नॉट इवन इमेजिन विदाउट हिम. हाँ, मतलब मुझे पता, मैं तो शायद नहीं कर पाती विदाउट हिम, इज व्हाट माय अंडरस्टैंडिंग इज. एंड इट इज डेफिनेटली वेरी लो. इवन विद अ को-फाउंडर इट इज वेरी लोनली, बिकॉज यू हैव टू टेक सर्टेन डिसीजंस जो आप किसी से डिस्कस ही नहीं कर सकते हो, आप किसी से शेयर ही नहीं कर सकते हो. देयर आर मोमेंट्स, देयर आर पीपल हु विल कम इन योर लाइफ, फॉर एग्जांपल मे बी अ वेरी हम्बल इन्वेस्टर, which happened to me, you know, like there was a part of my journey where I really had a very supportive set of investors. They even today are, but initially because tab aap fundraise kiye rehte ho, you know, you are freshly interacting with them, there was a lot of support because even your founder is looking at a certain different functions in the company, but aap jo dekh rahe ho as a CEO, you can only discuss it with someone जो same journey go through कर रहा है, otherwise आप किससे करोगे. So तब भी lonely है, but you can find it in your mentors, in your investors, maybe your peers, आपके कुछ friends हो. But for me also, like I would say, it has been a lonely journey.
But
so how do you like personally kind of sort of reduce the baggage from your shoulders, है ना? They're going through so much. Is it more like
what's
your
friends, support system,
family?
Basically?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What's your support system?
Yeah, family definitely is. My father, I speak to him quite a lot. आशु मेरे है support system, but it's like a hearing board. वो सुन सकता है, but you know at max वो हाँ हाँ ना हाँ ऐसे कर ले वैसे, because he also has lot of things on his plate. But यार in the end तो again आपके mind को आपको बेवकूफ बनाना है कि you know like you are lonely because you are doing things which other people aren't. So आप इसके बारे में खुश हो, and you are brave enough, you know, like I always remind myself कि my dad or even Ashu, you know, kept saying कितनी brave है तू, कितनी brave है. So even there is a difficulty that comes onto my mind, I just keep reminding that to myself, and I cannot keep sharing everything to them. उनको क्यों upset करना है हर छोटी चीज के लिए. So खुद को ही करना है उसको balance out, और also keep reading about other founders कि वो भी go through कर ही रहे होंगे. कभी कभी बात कर लो. For example, other founders call up for rep checks etc. for any employees if they are hiring from our company. तो थोड़ा बहुत चिट चैट कर लो तो हो जाता है balance out.
बेसिकली
Yeah,
ऑल इज वेल वाला सिनेरियो है कि you have to keep fooling your heart and mind.
yeah,
and
and
keep
also
going
that
ahead.
normalizing it, right? One important thing that जो आपने भी
Yeah,
कहा, that basically बाकी सब भी they're going through this. It's not something which is like
yeah,
very, you're not the only one suffering from it. And this was
everyone.
very, very useful. Very, very
हाँ,
useful.
बस आप ये रोज सोचो कि यू आर लर्निंग सम, इफ यू आर
Yeah.
नॉट लर्निंग जस्ट सफरिंग, देन
हाँ,
रीवैल्यूएट कि इतना सफर
yeah.
किस चीज के लिए कर रहे हो.
हाँ, बेसिकली रात को सो पा रहे हो कि नहीं, है ना? वही वाली
Yeah.
बात हुई.
boils down to that.
Yeah.
Boils down to that.
वो तो याद
Yeah.
रहेगा. I think if anyone has to take away anything from this, it is that रात को नींद आनी चाहिए. कल क्या
हाँ.
It's the
करने वाले हो
sleep
पता
check.
होना
Sleep
चाहिए.
check. Yeah.
हाँ.
यस यस, और
Yeah.
ऐसी नींद खुलनी चाहिए कि मुझे वो जल्दी से करना है. ऐसे हम मुझे सोए जा रहे हैं,
Right.
हो जाएगा, ऐसे नहीं होना चाहिए.
Yes, yes. So
Makes
actually,
sense.
because we're talking about this journey with a co-founder, right? So one thing which many people might not touch upon is that, so ये तो आपने support system, we discussed the support system part of it. But what about when you guys differ, when
Conflict.
you have a difference of opinion? What is your approach to that? And if there's any feedback to people?
So
Or you just shout at each other
differ.
and reconvene the
वहां
next
तक
day.
तो
हाँ, pillow
नहीं
fight
नहीं,
में भी.
वहां तक तो मैं जाती ही नहीं है.
Uh,
अब बाकी लोग किससे करते हैं पता नहीं, बट मेरे केस में ना व्हाट आई हैव सीन इज कि इफ देयर इज अ डिफरेंस इन ओपिनियन, आई ऑलवेज टेंड टू गो विथ व्हाट आशु's ओपिनियन इज, बिकॉज वी हैव फाउंड सक्सेस इन द सिनेरियोज जब उसके ओपिनियन को सिलेक्ट किया है. सो आई हैव दिस इंटरनल कुछ है मेरे माइंड
bias.
में, अपने आप बायस बना हुआ है कि जो वो बोल रहा है ना वो सही होगा तो वो कर लेते हैं. Even the decision of moving 100% of our R&D from Bikai to Big.ai, and not focus much on product building or feature building in Bikai was his call. And he came and said, यार ये कर लेते हैं अपन, अच्छी अपॉर्चुनिटी है Big.ai and massively grow कर सकते हैं अपन. So, without even thinking it for even a second, मैंने बोला ठीक है, अगर तूने सोचा है ना तो सही होगा, कर लेते हैं. So that's how,
ये जो trust है, I mean, and the fact that there's no ego at all in this equation, right? कि मुझे ज़्यादा पता है कि उसे ज़्यादा पता है. It's all about company के लिए ज़्यादा better क्या हो सकता है. And based on that, you're like, I trust his decision and trust his thought process.
Yeah.
जो
He
बहुत
would also
important
come
है
with the
essentially, right?
data driven thing, right? Because he would have run the math or understood some opportunity and then.
पता नहीं, वो तो बस मुझे आगे यही यही बोला, बोला चल कर लेते.
तो आपके तो फिर there must be cases, some places where you would want to put your foot down. ऐसा कभी नहीं हुआ है? If not with Ashu, with maybe other members of your team or your I'm thinking who all you could be.
Other
और
members
no,
System
I
person.
think she's just a very very sweet boss. लोग बोल
Yeah.
देते हैं, हाँ, सही कह रहे हो.
नहीं नहीं, बाकियों की नहीं चलती है. So
जैसे YC
we
के
all-
साथ में भी इन्वेस्टर्स फॉर इंस्टेंस, उनके साथ तो आपको वो मतलब नेगोशिएशन वगैरह तो करना ही पड़ेगा, मतलब otherwise
हाँ,
you'll end up picking the short end of the straw, right? If you always are on the like I'll give in to this.
या उसमें भी ऐसा होता था कि नेगोशिएशन, बिकॉज मेरे से फोन पे नहीं हो सकती. आई एम दैट पर्सन, हाँ हाँ सबको. सो मैंने और आशु ने डिसाइड किया था फोन पे कुछ बोलना ही नहीं, ओके बोल के काट देना. फिर अंदर पीछे से आशु मुझे ट्रेन करता था, देखो ऐसे बोलना है, अच्छा बोल के दिखा, अच्छा ये बोल के दिखा. देन आई हैव टू गो बैक एंड से दोस लाइन. तो काफी ट्रेनिंग दी है उसने मेरे को कि ऐसे ऐसे बोलना है, पुश किया है काफी ज्यादा, बिकॉज he has that कि negotiate करना चाहिए and we should stick to what we think etc. So वहां से ट्रेनिंग मिली है मुझे काफी. इवन पिच प्रैक्टिसेस उसी ने ही करवाई है मेरी कि ऐसे बोलना है, इसको ऐसे करना है. तो बस मैंने वहां से पिकअप किया है. तो दैट्स व्हाई आई थिंक दैट ट्रस्ट इज आल्सो देयर, कि वो जो बोलता है वो सही के लिए ही बोलता है.
Yeah, because over time that you've seen this, right? Again, ये basically वो data driven वाली चीज हो गई ना कि आपने एक बार देखा this works and then this works best for us, so go behind it.
Absolutely. Lot of employees came back saying कि सोनाक्षी अचानक से क्यों हम पूरा Big.ai में फोकस कर रहे हैं, इतना तो रेवेन्यू आ रहा है बिकाई में. मैंने बोला आशु ने डिसीजन लिया है एंड वो सही है, बस अभी करो, काम करो and you will see the results, and it eventually turned out to be good.
I'm wondering कि अगर something, for example, does not see,
Pan
oftentimes
out.
what happens is oftentimes what happens is things can get, especially जब इतने pressure में हो, things can get heated, right? So what if, you know, there is a scenario where perhaps there's a decision that he has taken, you have gone ahead with it, and that has not turned out too well. So उस scenario में
It's
how
okay. So I agreed in some way to his decision, and so I also took that decision. So it's like a collective decision, is what we think. And in the end, कहीं ना कहीं veto होता ही है यार मेरे पास. मतलब अगर मैं चाहूँ तो मना कर ही सकती हूँ. But वो होता है ना कि in the end, what's better for business? Better for business is to have a great team together, working in harmony, and building something that people want. So even not with just with Ashu, but even with other people, you know, you have to be very diplomatic when you are disagreeing to what they have brought to the table. You have to be very diplomatic and तरीके से आपको उनको समझाना पड़ता है.
Respect them. They're having a
Yes.
suggestion. Maybe they also have something which is for the good, right? So there must be
Yes.
logic behind it. Yeah,
Yes.
मतलब
Yes.
so
makes
this
sense.
is just very very important ना, क्योंकि entrepreneurship के इतने nuances होते हैं. आपको लोगों को मैनेज करना होता है, कॉन्फ्लिक्ट को मैनेज करना होता है, इन्वेस्टर्स को मैनेज करना होता है, 1000 चीज़ें को मैनेज करना होता है, और फिर रात को नींद भी आनी चाहिए. सो
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
having some system for it is important.
या सो देखो, अगर जैसे आपके फैमिली में भी होता है, अगर फैमिली में बहुत हार्मनी एंड लव है ना, यू कैन फेस any kind of challenge, even if it's a health challenge or financial challenge. Same with companies. Like if you have that harmony inside, and we went through a lot of ups and downs during that transition. You know, people interpreted it very differently in media, etc. So we went through those phases, but internally we were very strong. We were very happy. We saw us moving into the right direction because there was this harmony, there was this unity. Everyone, you know, like coming together and working for this mission. एक मिशन बन गया था कि it was somewhere in July कि अब हम पूरा बिग डॉट एआई में फोकस करेंगे for some months. तो ऐसा था कि 30 सितंबर तक हमें फुली फंक्शनल प्रोडक्ट बाहर निकालना है which can be used by these big enterprises. तो वो एक मिशन था. So that can only come with harmony, trust, unity, and you have to take a step back sometimes. Sometimes you have to convince team diplomatically. It depends upon situation to situation.
So basically choose your battles, that thing, right? If it
Yes.
comes to that, the overriding thing, the topmost thing would be have harmony. Is what
Yes.
you usually follow.
Absolutely.
Makes sense. So you're talking about having a different roster of products, building services, and so on. So, and especially with big, when you moved into to a larger ticket size, right? Customers with who are bigger enterprises. So did you run into competition, especially from existing systems, maybe because this kind of a space, just Bikai had this quirk that it was smaller businesses, so people from outside might not have already like tapped into the customer base, but into bigger customers, I forgot one of the shopping chain job, but Shopper Stop, right? So did they already have tie-ups with software companies, and did how was this pivot there?
Yeah, so most of these companies were already using existing solutions. We weren't building anything new. The value proposition that we got them to their table was all in one. Like you get everything on one platform. And, again, why we built this was we realized कि ये बड़े brands हैं, but इनका जो online जो D2C sales channel है ना, वो बहुत छोटी team देखती है. The same team looks at customer support, same team looks at retention marketing, same team is handling agency who are acquiring customers, etc. So हमें पता था कि जो all in one story है, paying to just one vendor, paying to just one software would make a lot of sense to these guys. So we went with that value proposition and that worked well. So we acquired around 70 brands now in last 8 months, everything organic. Like I made sure I promised myself that I'm not going to spend even $1 in acquiring these customers. It should be purely organic. And that's how we, make ourselves believe कि हाँ value addition है. So होता है यार, competition तो होता है. You just have to put up your values in a right way at right.
No, this makes sense. Also, actually, one thing that because when I was preparing for the podcast, I was looking at different Tapke interviews. Period. One of the things that you touched upon, and one of them was this, or in one of the articles, I believe, that basically, like Indian software companies, they're usually perceived as a copy of like
Yeah,
Western companies, right, or a Western SaaS
yeah.
company. So was that something that you consciously tried to break, that impression, when dealing with
Yeah,
people?
so so
Yeah.
there were multiple companies जो हमारे जैसा सॉफ्टवेयर अगेन 2,000 रुपए 10,000 रुपए पर मंथ में बेच रही है इन इंडिया एंड वी डिडंट वांट टू प्ले दैट गेम. हमें वो नहीं करना था कि सस्ते में बेचो. दैट्स हाउ यू पेनिट्रेट मार्केट्स लाइक इंडिया, लैटम एक्सेट्रा. But we want to be that premium product क्योंकि again वो problem आएगी which was with Bikai, gross margins. कहाँ से gross margin? Because now selling to enterprises you have to hire really expensive salespeople. You cannot manage with normal salespeople, and over there you need good margins. Over there you need a big contract. You need a big check value so that you can even deploy a good expensive customer success manager. So वो तो clear था, like we'll only operate in quality, we'll only operate in premium. So we started charging 1 lakh a month, जहाँ हमें पता था 5,000 रुपए per month बेचने वाले भी हैं, and mostly इंडिया में वो यूज करते हैं. But we are also very upfront. देखो मतलब आपको quality चाहिए तो आओ, नहीं तो there are other people in the market.
Okay, so basically you were like you didn't try to put any specific effort in that. You were like very clear. If you want quality, then we were just only going to get such customers.
Yes. Because again you start doing the math. Let's say if your goal is to hit 10 million ARR in next 1 year, how would you hit that? अगर आप 5,000 रुपए में बेचने लगो, you need let's say 10x customers of what you need at 50,000 rupees per month. आप 1 लाख ले रहे हो तो आपको 20x लेकर आना है. फिर अगर 5,000 रुपए का है तो आप देखो, मेरे लिए तो वो ज्यादा डिफिकल्ट है ना देन दिस. सो बस अगर आप मैथ उल्टा करो ना कि आपका ये गोल है, इसके लिए आपको इतने कस्टमर्स चाहिए, देन वेरी क्लियर कि मेरे को इतने में तो बेचना ही बेचना है, उससे कम
Yeah. Hey, this was very nice. This basically quality over quantity, right? Essentially, that you're driven by numbers. So,
एक चीज I'm wondering is, earlier on you stated this, you had this goal of like 3 million and now you have this thing ki 10 million. ये numbers कहाँ से हैं? Like on what basis are you kind of deciding or creating this vision for you कि मुझे this is the number I want to hit? And saying that कि मैं 18 months में नहीं 6 महीने में ये hit करूँगी. Where is that? What is the math behind that?
माइंड ही है. माइंड में चलता रहता है कि इतना तो हो जाना चाहिए, मतलब इतने करने की औकात है, देखते हैं मतलब कि कैसे हो पाएगा. माइंड है, माइंड में ही होना चाहिए. एंड दी other thing is like if you have, let's say as an entrepreneur, everyone has this goal ki 1 billion ARR karna hai. So you split that into phases, like hitting the first 1 million. So right now we are in a phase कि हमें big.ai alone से 1 million जल्दी से जल्दी touch करना है in next couple of months. As a company we have to hit 10 million as soon as possible. So then you start splitting problems कि 1 million तक पहुंचने के लिए मुझे इतने CSM चाहिए, इतने सेल्स वाले चाहिए, इतने मुझे ऐसा प्रोडक्ट चाहिए, इतने कस्टमर्स चाहिए. 1 million तो हो गया, अब मैं इसको 5 million कैसे लेके जाऊं यार? मुझे तो वॉल्यूम अचानक से बढ़ानी है, 5 गुना करनी है. तो अब मेरे को सेल्स टीम हायर करने में आपको 5-6 महीने लगते हैं. आसान तो है नहीं, अदरवाइज यू एंड अप हायरिंग रॉन्ग पीपल. तो आपको माइंड में थोड़ा मैथ करते रहना पड़ता है कि 1 महीने मैंने हायरिंग में लगा लिया, ठीक है ये हो गया, इसके लिए मुझे इतनी मार्केटिंग एक्टिविटी, मेरा इतना रनवे है, वैसे वैसे करके अंदाजा लग जाता है कि इतना पहुंचा सकता है.
So how much of these targets are driven from, say, investors, right? जैसे अभी आपके
बिल्कुल ही
और
नहीं.
okay, these are all
I don't even have this target discussion with investors. वो अभी a week back they asked ki, like what are FY24 revenue expectations. I told them I don't have any numbers in my mind because Manifest just launched. मुझे पता ही नहीं है कि मतलब at what scale we'll be operating with Manifest in next couple of months. छोड़ो, 10 दिन बाद का भी नहीं पता है. So I cannot give you a number. So investors, so this is one thing that I always made sure since beginning was कि we operate independently. वो ऐसा एक pressure of sorts बन जाता है otherwise.
Right.
So, but how do you sort of ensure that? Because don't investors usually push for this?
Mindset ही है again, like they
very humble, very humble. Huh?
Basically, like day one से आपको you have to create that set of principles.
yes. Day one से आपको वो clear boundaries बनानी है, clear expectations set करनी है, otherwise it's going to be very difficult.
Makes sense.
I'm kind of wondering, तो एक जब आप ये projections बना रहे हो, so usually in a lot of companies, typically what happens is कि 80% of the revenues end up coming from the top 2 or 3, जो भी 20% products होते हैं, right? तो अभी आपके जो roster में हैं 5-6 products, what exactly is what kind of works the best without revealing too much?
Whatever you can speak about, essentially.
Yeah. I feel majority of it will come from manifest. That's my that is what my gut says. Even though वो अभी market में 2 हफ्ते पुराना product भी नहीं है, but the traction that we have seen, I believe, and also the TAM, like US की e-commerce market is 80% of world's e-commerce market. So even if you are able to capture 1% of the market, that's pretty huge. Versus India की market बहुत छोटी है, मतलब there are just 1,000 brands that you can count on fingers. Literally you can count brands on fingers जो कि एक decent size revenue कर रहे हैं. So even if I have to play volume game, I'll play that in US, and Manifest is the product that drive us.
So tell us a little bit more about Manifest.
Yeah.
Exactly what does it do?
So Manifest is, basically an AI shopping assistant on e-commerce websites, and it is using OpenAI tech as a baseline. But on top of that, we have built a lot of e-commerce models. For example, if you let's say want to set up Manifest in a way that it saves certain refund on your website, it will do that for you. It's or other models are like, if you want to deploy it in a way that it keeps increasing AOV of every order that is about to getting placed, it will do that for you. So it's basically an AI deployment of lot of and certain activities that are being done on website, and also helping consumers to navigate their journey once they are on the website. So these two things.
What would be like a typical use case when this assistant kicks in?
So multiple use cases. For example, you are on certain website and you have come with a purpose, which is like you want to go out on a date night and you have certain dress to wear. You need a bag matching to it. You'll just write that. You don't have to use your brains ki black dress ke saath silver bag jayega, etc. You just write, I have a black dress, suggest me something. It will tell you. So it's like a assistant, shopping assistant. Then the other use cases that it helps you is, solving your doubts, your questions. For example, if it's a cosmetic or a skincare brand, you want to ask कि ये dry skin में चलेगा कि नहीं, or if it's a hair straightening cream, I want to ask कि यार मेरे बालों में बहुत dandruff है, ये उसके लिए तो suitable है ना, although I want hair straightening but dandruff भी है, it will answer that for you. Then, post purchase journeys, for example, you have come for refund, it will assist you in getting refund, or it will assist if it feels, ki consumer utna agitated nahi hai, it will, some way push for an exchange instead of getting that refund straight away. So, both benefiting all parts of customer's journey on website.
So essentially, if I understand, it's like you're given a goal, and if I have to, the thing that struck me, right, when you said this is, earlier you were focusing on a one-stop shop for sellers through Bick and Bikai, and now you're trying to shift that focus to the customer rather, right? That you're trying to create a one-stop assistant or that helps throughout the shopping journey.
Yeah.
And try to maximize conversion. That is the goal.
Yeah, but these are again like our buyers are these brands. They are buying this software from us who are putting it on their website. So let's say, for example, we can take an example like debayan.com, which you sell groceries on. So you will enable Manifest on top of your website, and you can really, like, your consumers can come and chat on it and get things done.
So I'm actually wondering कि so you have a product which does digital marketing, automated digital marketing, and this product over here is a little bit more focused on having a better customer experience, the end consumer experience. So from a brand point of view, is there something which can possibly like for the brand, essentially it could like upsell stuff and add more value to the brand itself, and so does it like explore those kind of things also?
Yeah, so if you see Big is basically has deployed chatbots, similar chatbots on WhatsApp and Instagram, and in the back end there is a customer service suite that we give. This is essentially enabling a live chat which is AI enabled on your website. But we wanted to, position it as a standalone product. I'll tell you why. One is WhatsApp does not sell in US. It only sells in India, APAC, EMEA and LATAM. So हमें ऐसा कुछ चाहिए था जो US में हम day zero से बेच पाए. And Manifest was that opportunity. ये actually extension of Big.ai है. ये एक छोटा सा extension, एक feature है. But we wanted to separate it out because value addition was extremely high. You don't need, let's say, agents or customer support people to now answer queries on your website. There is, 24/7 someone sitting on your website upselling things basis consumer ka behavior. So ye sabka appreciation as a product is a lot higher in countries like US. So we wanted to position it separately as a standalone product and called it Manifest and started selling. We have already onboarded in last 1.5 weeks. We have onboarded 7 brands. 7 brand को demo दिया है मैंने, 7 close हुए हैं. So very hopeful with the traction. And one thing that has really played out well is out of these 7 brands, 2 brands literally asked me ki, we saw your other product as well, Big.ai. Tell us more about that. When I told them, that's when they said, why don't you give us the customer service suite as well? Why just Manifest? So we want both. So in this way, we were able to even take Big to US. So that is something that I really appreciate about Manifest. Ki from day one, it is not just adding in value in terms of getting new revenues, but also an upsell opportunity for Big.
So I have a question here, right? Because so having worked with I'm a little aware of the LLM wave and the different applications, right? So now, if from what I understand, like this is basically powered on top of an LLM model with capabilities or different extensions, right? You can think of it like just a Kafka, the products that you wanted to buy together. That could be one capability that it has, a skill, or the customer sales support of it. The correct. So now one thing which is recently gaining a lot of traction in the tech space is the framework called LangChain, which is enabling many companies or even individuals to build such agents, right? That automate these workflows which require different skills to be stitched together to build an conversational agent. So how is that affecting you, or are you guys reusing it, or do you see this eating into your share or something like that, competition heating up here?
No. So we are actually using LangChain. It is powered, like we are powered by LangChain, honestly speaking. It wouldn't it's not a competition, it's a complementary, it's a way to power Manifest up, because on top of that, you'll have to deploy your insights or your infrastructure or the data that's available on a Shopify store, on an e-commerce store yourself. So for example, let's say there's a structure to how orders are stored. There's a structure to how customers are managed. There's a structure to how event data on an e-commerce website is stored. Now you have to use all these information, and not just this, the other integration that these store owners are using. For example, they're using a subscription app. They're using a SMS marketing app. How do you, actually leverage this ecosystem to give out an answer that becomes so relevant to a consumer that he ends up buying or getting converted? So your job is just that. Other thing is like a black box, or a powerful tech that we are using, underlying tech that we are using to empower this. So That's
But
how I see.
basically LangChain is sort of the enabler for many
Yes,
people, but the specific domain knowledge that you have
yes,
is unique to
yes,
Manifest. Makes
yes.
sense.
You entered, so Manifest is mostly going to operate in the US market, or okay, it's mostly in the US market.
Yeah. India won't, like, Manifest wouldn't be a PMF in India. That I've been saying to team from day zero, but I have kept, my doors open in terms of आपको pitch करना है कर लो इंडिया में, खुद ही देख लेना. And that is what is happening. People do not appreciate Manifest as a product in terms of that they can get rid of agents, because यहाँ पे agent का cost ही कितना है. आप 10-15 हज़ार महीना सैलरी देते हो, बिठा देते हो एक बंदे को, एंड उसको 14 घंटे 15 घंटे काम करवाते हो. Versus in US, they really appreciate time. So
Right.
वहां पर agent cost बचाना is like a huge deal. We are almost literally saving them. कितना 3 agent का आप 300 के annual तो ले ही लो, तो उतना save कर रहे हैं. For that they are ready to pay $10,000 annually. So that is how they see versus in India.
So
Simple, the
basically a
maths add up,
combination
cost
of
of living there.
yeah,
Yeah.
combination of kind of the TAM plus the gross margins.
Adoption of tech
Right.
also. People don't understand chat GPT अभी यहाँ पर उतना.
Hmm.
ब्रांड्स में जो मार्केटिंग मैनेजर्स काम कर रहे हैं, तो क्योंकि वो अंडरस्टैंडिंग उनको pick.ai चलाने से थी कि मतलब what state of mind Indian brands are. It's still not a very mature market versus US is a very mature.
I see. Have you found any specific differences, any other differences between India and US?
Yeah, quite a lot. So number one is they really in US they appreciate the value your software is adding. They appreciate the time that you spend on a demo. So even if the answer is no, they will be very, very cordial in terms of communicating that. Versus in India, it is very different. People, like, it's a very I would say cost-driven economy. Like, आपको हमेशा पैसों की बात होगी. कुछ लोग तो ऐसे होते हैं डेमो शुरू होने के पहले ही बोलते हैं पहले प्राइसिंग बता दो. Versus in US, they'll tell you, show me the value proposition, and they'll only come on a demo when they feel ki it's worth your time and their time. So that is the core difference. As a tech person coming from tech background, eventually यार आप कितना भी try कर लो, in the end आपको कहीं ना कहीं अंदर लगेगा यार मेरे tech की जहाँ appreciation ज़्यादा है, I will serve those
100%.
So कहीं ना कहीं as a human वो feel हो ही जाता है. So that is how we felt so far.
Actually, this is also
Makes
something as a relation, I mean, in continuation of this, right? जैसे आप बोल रहे थे, this is one of the challenges that you faced when you were working in this tech space, that which is basically the mindset of people from a cost point of view in India. But something which is very contextual to you, and because you are the woman CEO of a company, of a very successful company. So would that, I mean, it's very successful for a startup, right? But definitely you've grown quite a bit over the years. So were there any challenges being a woman in tech? Did you face any such issues which you would like to talk about? And which you were not expecting, right? When you started out, maybe.
Yeah. Issues as such though, nahi, like I haven't, faced any, but what one thing that I felt is by default, I think people think कि मुझे नहीं आता होगा. So that is that feeling ना मुझे समझ आ जाता है जब कोई सामने वाला बात कर रहा है. That intuition तो आपको किसी को भी समझ आ जाएगा. So that is something that I felt in some conversations. But overall, like if you have that confidence कि ठीक है मतलब वो सोच रहा है तो क्या हो गया, चलता है, so तब चल जाता है. Otherwise तो I haven't fortunately been through any such instance where I felt कि woman founder होने से कोई घाटा. In fact फायदा ही हो जाता है कई बार. You get those limelights in a lot of. So
Nice.
Makes sense. Lovely.
One thing I remember was one of the investors pitch. Again, they are not on our cap table, but when I was pitching to them, that person told me कि आप एक बार reevaluate कर लो, आप दोनों founder में से जो बड़ा है ना वो आकर पिच करे तो बहुत अच्छा रहेगा. So that is what बहुत politely बोला था, but अगर मुझे आज तक वो बात याद है तो definitely it sounded really differently. So
Does this happen more in like technical conversations, or is it more like generic across a lot of things?
Generic, हाँ, generic ही था ये वाला तो. But yeah, people tend to think कि मुझे कम आता होगा. That is what their underlying assumption is. But then things change when we interact. Otherwise, it's pretty good.
Awesome. I hope you keep proving
Thank
them
you.
wrong.
Yeah, for sure.
And
उनकी सोचने से क्या होता है, कितने लोग कितना सोचते
very
हैं.
true.
Not control that.
Very true.
Yeah. Focus on the good, right? And then manifest. Keep manifesting that also for the product.
Hopefully end में बिक
Right.
जाए.
One of our customers actually, wanted it's a unicorn company. I wouldn't recommend them. It's a unicorn company. They were paying what they had promised. They were paying 1/10 of it to us for some past few months. So then, like we had a conversation with them that they had promised us certain volume basis that we had given them commercials, but they're not delivering that anymore. So we have to revise that. So, again, that person started creating a lot of insecurities in my mind, saying that, I trusted you guys, then trusting, really big vendors. And everyone knows for a fact that आजकल startups तो कैसे हर हफ्ते बंद हो रहे हैं. क्या पता तुम बंद हो जाओ 6 महीने बाद, तो मेरे ऊपर आ जाएगी ना बात. I have trusted you so much, so आप मेरे को सस्ते में ही दो. तो I told him, देखो आपकी सोच खराब है first of all, because if we are interacting with you on a daily basis, we have done so much for you. आप क्यों सस्ते में? And second thing, आपने commitment दी थी, तो आपको उस पे स्टिक रहना चाहिए. तो he told me कि आप ऐसा क्यों मतलब आप किसी की सोच कंट्रोल नहीं कर सकते हो सोनाक्षी. अगर मैं सोच रहा हूँ ऐसा एंड स्टार्टअप्स बंद हो रहे हैं तो वो हो रहे हैं, मतलब you cannot control what I think. I told him, yeah, definitely I cannot control what you think, but I can control who my customers can be. And with what you are saying today, I choose to reject you as a customer. And then he came back saying, okay, we'll revise the commercials, we'll go back to what was discussed and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so this is how we'll have to handle. We have to be that brave.
Strong, hold.
Yes.
Basically, put your foot down.
Put your foot down when it's really, really important.
Wherever your values are, especially in question, right? Yeah.
क्योंकि अगर सच में अगर स्टार्टअप के पास रनवे कम हो तो वो डर जाता इस केस में. He would have taken a step back. So.
Don't compromise on your values, essentially.
Yes.
Yeah. Something.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that's all I had. I mean, Abbhinav, if you have anything, but thank you for your time. You've been with us for already quite a long time. Thank you for this.
Thank you guys for spending this time with me.